Hey, it's Dan Melnick. I'm the CEO and co founder of Zing, and I'm proud to be a sponsor of this podcast. So please check us out today as we can help fuel your business growth. myzing.io. Thank you.
Thank you for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
Hi, of course, that would be my honor.
So, I've gone through profile. I can see you are AI researcher. You are into data, and also you are a basketball player and also an author. So multi-talented. So I thought to tell about your work to my audience.
Yeah, okay. Which one shall I start at first? My background of computer science or basketball player, or which one do you prefer to start?
So before that, can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Oh, should I introduce myself? Okay. My name is Parastoo Alaei. I'm from Tehran, Iran, and I am master student at artificial intelligence, and I work as a researcher at an cancer institute in Tehran. And actually, I have 2 degrees for my basketball profession, which is coaching and being a basketball player in Super League. And I usually write, not very professionally, but I used to write 2 novels, and I didn't think all of them are that good enough to publish, but if you rather, I would talk about them. And yeah, that's my preview. Yeah.
So you have your background is technology background.
Yes, actually, my main career is technology and computer science, and I want to pursue my dream in artificial intelligence, and I want to continue my studying as a PhD, uh, candidate, maybe in another year, in next year.
So right now you are a student or you have completed your education?
Actually, it's my last semester, and I'm going to defend my master thesis for about 3 months later, and yeah, that's pretty much about what I'm actually working on, because my main paper is about that too, and that's all. But I want to continue my PhD as in data science. If there is such a thing in Iran, I will pursue it in Iran. But if there isn't, I will prefer to continue my education in another country.
So you are from?
What?
You are from which place?
I'm from Iran, but I would like to continue my education in another country. I mean, studying abroad.
So your bachelor's degree was in
Oh,
computer
my
science.
bachelor's, yeah, and my bachelor is computer science, and my master is computer science and robotics. And the field of my master is artificial intelligence, AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now you are a student.
Yes, but I'm actually a researcher too. In Iran, you can do both, and you can, and the universities don't actually care if you work out of the university. I know that there isn't such a thing in some countries like the United States or some European countries, because you as a master student don't allow to work more than 30 hours a week. But in Iran, you can do it with unlimited time if you know don't forget to study. Yeah.
So what's your project, your master's project? You said it is related to AI and data
Yes.
science.
Yes, actually, I always like to work with doctors. That's why I chose, actually, as you know, because I know that your major is computer science. As you know, most of our work are based on data sets, and the most valuable data sets are medical data sets. So I prefer to work on medical data sets, which is very hard and of course more difficult than other data sets, because you need some expert to give their opinions on it. For example, if you give an accurate model, you should give them to experts to give their opinions. Sometimes their opinions as an expert, I mean the medical experts, don't match the models. I mean they are the opposite of what you were thinking about before you started your job, and that's why it makes it very difficult. And most of the medical data sets are not that good, and they aren't collect very well. Most of those patients maybe are dead, especially in cancer, that there are a lot of dead people during the treatment, and you cannot finish your job if you don't have enough field and data sets.
So I can
Yeah.
understand your project is related to medical field and you are using AI
Yes.
in it. So can you
Yes,
tell us
actually,
like
most of it is related to breast cancer, and I work at a breast cancer center in Tehran, and there are a lot of doctors, professors, and most of medical students, and in a lot of fields, but I only work with those people who are expert in cancer and breast cancer, especially breast cancer.
who
Yeah.
inspired you to take this project? Do you have any personal experience or somebody told you or any particular observation that motivated you to take this project and solve this kind of a problem?
Yes, actually, first I started to study my master's. I wanted to pursue my dream in robotics, but my professor, one of my professors, has talked about his projects and his experience in these kinds of data sets. And he told us that he published a lot of papers in this field. And when I told him that I'm interested in working on this subject, he introduced me to this Cancer Institute, and they accept me very good. And I wasn't actually expect that, because I don't know if you were working with medical people, but I mean medical experts, but they usually prefer to work with their own experts. And if a doctor has any experience in computer science, or I don't know, Python or some kind of software, they prefer to work with them, not with CS students. Uh, and also they are very old fashioned. They usually don't use computers. They literally don't. But after COVID, I think everything has changed, and people get familiar with this stuff. And most of those people are teachers and doctors, and they do actually rely on us for giving them some methods to have an accurate detect and diagnosis.
So what
Yeah.
particular problem that you want to solve with this project that you're doing? What is your ultimate thing? What is the end
Oh, do you mean what is one of my problems that I
goal?
had in this project? Yeah. Oh, my goal is to help the experts to have better detects on patients. Sometimes when you go to doctors and give them your result of experiments, they usually detect wrong. And some people don't get the cancer, but some experts and doctors detect that it is not true, and you get it. And that's horrible, because uh, you have to waste money, you have to waste your mental health, you have to do all of this, and none of them are true on paper. And this happen all the time, and that's why they use data sets and AI experts like me or other students or other experts. But it is better for students to do that rather than other experts, because we learn computer science subjects, artificial intelligence, and beside that we learn a lot of things about cancer and bioinformatics and something like that. But usually when they work with other experts in another other country, sorry, other companies, they usually have difficulties, because they always want money. They don't care about the work. They don't work beside them. They work remotely, and they don't really match, and they don't have that connection with the experts. But me and my team work exactly beside them. We work 3 days in week at that cancer institute, and we have a good relationship with them, and we always have a place in their meetings, and that's all. Yeah.
How is your experience working
Yeah.
with this medical field and interacting with the doctors and the hospital, the medical related terminology you will be hearing? You coming
Yeah.
from technology background, knowing technology tools and technology services, products, trying to integrate that with the medical field, the cancer, because which is related to the biology, the physics.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
so how is that
Actually,
experience?
students care more than other, I don't know, engineers or data scientists or other people out of the university community. Students care more about these things.
What you
Yeah.
learned in this process?
Uh, a lot of things. Actually, I work how to be a project manager, because this is kind of my first experience on a big project, and most of my team members actually uh, rely on me, and they really uh, chose me as a manager. And actually I learned how to talk to the other people rather than engineers and computer people, because it's actually different. I didn't know that. And they usually care about other things, and I at the meetings I usually learn a lot of things from doctors, especially about patients, because I'm pretty illiterate in medical stuffs, and I think that's a great opportunity for me to work with these people.
So what tools and technologies that you are using for this project?
Actually, as all of the scientists use, I use Python, a Python language, and VS Code. Sometimes I use Jupyter, and for these people, because they don't really not familiar with the coding, I use SPSS. It is a software that usually medical experts use for their thesis or their papers, because all of these papers and theses needs to work on some kind of data set. So you have to be familiar with some software, and they usually use Stata or SPSS. But I usually use VS Code for the pre-processing and these things, and I usually use Tableau for visualization. And that's it. And I use other kind of tools for writing my papers and give them some reports or something like that.
So as a project manager, how do you feel? Because medical field is very sensible field, because data is
Yes.
plays a major role,
Yes.
with which the treatment and, the further analysis will be done with the, the data that is being, done by you. So how do you
Yes,
feel
it's
as a
sensitive.
project manager? Yeah,
Yeah.
as a project manager.
Actually, first of at the beginning, I felt it is going to be easy, but I was wrong, obviously, because my whole life I used to be captain, I don't know, the head of classroom and something like that, but it's pretty different from all of this experience. But as I'm not the kind of person who just think about myself, and I'm not like that. I usually give some give wisdom gets wisdom from my professors or these experts that I'm working with, and most of them are actually middle age, and that's why I consider them as my teacher, and some people who want to really help me. So I ask them how to manage these data sets and how to manage my first work as a project manager, and they really helped me. For example, my professor told me how to manage every part of my article, and which people in my group is the best person who works on pre-processing, which one is better to I don't know, give the accurate model to people, and which one is better for writing the article, obviously, and which one of them is better for talking to the manager of that cancer institute, because it's obviously a pretty difficult thing, because we were actually trying for 3 months to get these data sets. We have to give some commitments for them. We have to sign a lot of forms, and we have to give them some proposal for giving these data sets, because these are so private, and we didn't have to share this in public. Yeah, that's actually what
So
happened.
being a technologist, when interacting with the non-technical people, in order to get the data and information, how you will communicate with them and how they will understand you and the, VS Code and with the technology
Yeah,
that you are using. So
actually,
how that
yes.
communication? happens?
Yes, it's pretty funny, but I use PowerPoint actually because they actually they are, as I told you, they are very old-fashioned. But I try to present them what's gonna happen if you use AI for your the process that you are going to solve it. And I make them have a actually I have them have a meeting, and I present them some slides which present no wait a minute. Oh, I present them some slides with a lot of experience of other people who works on some kind of data sets with R methods. For example, our methods are association role mining. We get the columns and we pre-process them, and we gave them the best rules and relations that you can follow, and give them to the experts. And I gave them some examples and some articles. And actually, I explained to them some kind of articles that they were actually work on our methods on another data sets. For example, one of them worked on a hospital in China. Another was work on these kinds of data sets, but the data sets was image processing, and the methods was different, but the result was incredible. I mean, they were a lot of them, and they change a lot of methods, and most of the doctors was agree with that method.
So
Yeah,
what's your
that's why I.
intention? What's your intention with this project? You want to automate the things that they are using and are coming with the conventional method. You want to
Yes,
automate and save.
actually, actually, this is a great job for me. Actually, I wanted to do this as a researcher, and I want to do it as actually as my profession. Actually, I wanted to hold an startup with combination of computer science experts and cancer experts, you know what I mean. And I want to hold this startup for working on a lot of kind of data sets, like the questionnaires, the image processing, and most of them. Because, for example, in my country, there are a lot of data sets, but there isn't any experts who can work. And there isn't because they don't actually have the, intention to do all these paper stuff, and give their signs, and they prefer to work on less um, less difficult data sets, for example on public data sets, you know what I mean. And medical data sets are most challenging data sets on the world, and that's why computer experts don't have their time for that. But as I am a very patient person, I prefer to do it, and hold on a startup with these kinds of people. And I really want to have this connection, and I want to create this connection in my country.
So
Yes.
what research that you're doing in order to make this happen? Because startup is something you're
Yeah.
coming with an idea and you want to solve a particular problem with already the master's project experience that you're getting.
Yes, of course. And actually, it's very soon to talk about it, because I want to continue my PhD. But actually, I was planning to have some course on business courses, management courses, and give some, wisdom from people who used to do it. I have two people in my life who are who have who had this experience in their life. They actually hold a startup and it was so successful. One of them was my old professor, and the other is my brother-in-law, who is actually living in the US, and he told me to help me if I really serious about it. Yeah.
So, being a project manager, coming from a sports background, like you said, you're the leader, being a
Yes.
captain. So how that, being a leader in a sports field and coming and being again a leader here, being,
Yes.
managing the project and telling everybody to, telling the team, and how is that team management and how you make this project happen with your leadership skill?
Actually, unless some coaches, I believe most of winning and losing in sports world comes from mental health. Actually, people usually being scared of facing the strong team, in front of them, and most of them usually lose on their mind, not on these people. But I usually, actually, I'm not that brave, but I'm brave in sports. I usually um, actually play in front of taller people and stronger people. Even I used to play with boys. That's why I got so brave because boys don't scared of anything and anyone else's. And I think it's a good experience if any girls do it in sport, because obviously in sport men are better than women. It's physics and it's actually science. It's nothing that I can um, actually, there's no debate about it. And yeah, I think it goes back to your mental health. You have to face your responsibility. You have to face your everything that you are afraid of, and you have to solve it before starting a new match. And af- after you solve it, you can win any team that you are think of. That's why I used to actually every time that I have been the leader of my team have win that match, because I always talk to my players, talk to my coach, and in the court I usually talk to them, and all I say is pass me, don't do it, and you know what I'm saying. And but other captains or leaders usually don't do it. They usually just shout out the players and make them even more nervous, and that's it.
So, what level you played? You're a professional sportsman, right? Because before becoming a coach, I'm sure you might have
Yes.
represented and played for different
Yes,
teams.
actually, I'm playing at Super League, but I had to stop it because all that I work that I'm doing, actually, you only can play until some kind of certain age. You cannot play after 40. But I have to make a career so I can continue it until I pass away. But yeah, that's why I stop it. Actually, I love basketball. This is the most precious thing that I've ever done in my entire life. But I had to do it. I had to be realistic because, but I still playing it, but I'm more focused on my work than my sports.
So, a person in you, a sportswoman in you, how that person is helping you in the technical projects that you're doing, the AI or data science project, or anything which is related to logical thinking, like sitting in front of a laptop, interacting with the computer is different from
Yes.
interacting with humans when it comes to sports. So, how do you define this communication with humans and computer?
Actually, it was very difficult at the first because I know it's kind of boring, but and people always talk about it, but I have ADHD and it's very difficult for me to sit on a place and even in this interview I just want to walk and every time I had a phone call I always walk around of my house or I don't know my office or everywhere and that I'm talking to. But I usually use a lot of methods, such as at the first I uh, tied myself with belt to the chair to study my lessons, and I had to pass it with great grade, and that's why I did it. But in the long term, when you are planning in long term, you have to work on a lot of things, such as you have to have a balance between your boring job and your entertaining, and when I get tired with coding or working on my project, I usually do other things like I don't know. I usually watch movies or watch YouTube channels, or in somehow I love listening to podcasts, fortunately, and I usually listen to a lot of philosopher or psychologists that I admire, and that's how I get motivation, and I didn't get bored. And I usually use some methods for studying, such as Pomodoro. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that, but you work on your everything you are working for about 25 minutes. After that, you have 5 minutes to rest. And after that, you work on it for 30 minutes. That's why you remind yourself that, okay, you have some time for yourself. So now you have to be focused on your lessons and something like that. It is actually very difficult for me because when I was studying at my bachelor's, I wasn't that smart student. I even wanted to get fired at the university because of my grades, but the between of my bachelor's to master's, I get motivated, and I wanted to continue it as strongly as I want to be. So I made my decision. I plan everything I need to, and I I was focused on everything that I was doing, even which is rest or studying, everything I need to. Yeah.
So you are multi-skilled and multi-talented. So how you are able to be a multitasker? Like how you are able to adapt yourself to from one field to other field, from technology to sports to author, like you're writing books.
Yes.
Like how you're able to manage all this in the
Actually,
limited
most of
time
the
you have.
yeah, actually most of it goes back to my personality. I don't actually like do just one thing. Even when I'm reading a book, I usually select three books. So if I get bored from one of them, I can go back to another them, and after I don't know 1 month, I finished three books. It is usually do my stuff. And for working, I usually do it. For example, you are my first interview in this week, and after that I have another in Tuesday, and after that in another week I have a webinar that I have to talk. And this is not the greatest feature of mine, because I'm very introverted and I usually don't talk about this, but I have to solve it in myself. So that's why I choose to have this challenge in front of myself, so I can solve this problem, to talk about myself and I don't know, everything I need to in meetings or webinars or conferences or interviews, something like that. That's pretty difficult, but my best motivation is my goal. And whenever I think about my goal, it would be some kind of, I don't know, caffeine for my brain, and it can encourage me to even wake up at the middle night, so I can do it more. Yeah.
So I think there is a sports person in you who is making you do all these things.
Yeah, maybe. One of my role models actually was Kobe Bryant, and he was, he had that alter ego, and he was called Black Mamba, because he had that Black Mamba mentality. You have to do whatever you need to do, not whatever you feel to do. You know what I'm saying? So I actually, the human body wants you to sleep over, just eat and do that simple things, but you don't have to listen to your body. You have to force your body to do the right thing. That's my opinion. Yeah.
So your goal is to do, PhD and, after your master's. So, observing today's technology, the world technology, the
Yes.
humans using technology to solve the problems and to reduce their effort and, time. So what is your observation about technology and how humans are using technology?
Uh, Sorry, I think I didn't get your question. What is my opinion
Your
about?
your your observation about today's technology.
Oh, I think it's great, and I don't think that you cannot that you can stop the process of improving the technology, because it will go anyway. And I think we have to be educated before using any technology. For example, the social media is a great challenge for any teenagers or even at our ages. And I think at the schools they should have some units or lessons about social media, how to use it, how to earn money out of it, and how to not to listen to harmful content. And I think there should be educated, and that's what people these days usually ask me, the AI is going to destroy us and something like that. But I think these questions were when people wanted to come from the simple life to the machine life. I mean, when the first car comes to our life, or the first camera, or the first computer, or something like that. I mean, after that, people's life has changed a lot, but they didn't destroy us. We just have to learn a lot. It's exactly like artificial intelligence. If you learn a lot, you can be if you have to be trained, and you have to use those information from everything that is new, and you have to analyze it, and have some outcome that which one is better for you or not. People these days can usually prefer to have social media in their life, but they usually forget their own real life. They always think that everything is perfect as there is in social media, or you know, everyone is successful or something like that. But I can assure you, no, there are a lot of trouble that people have. It's in common. Yeah. So
So you are an AI researcher. As an AI researcher, as a person who is working in artificial intelligence, and doing a project in medical field, how do you define this human intelligence versus artificial intelligence?
well, I believe human intelligence is better than artificial intelligence, because humans are have two things better than artificial intelligence, which are understanding the feelings and creativity. And you cannot have this creativity out of artificial intelligence. For example, for ChatGPT, if you give them some information, they can give you something out of it. You cannot, for example, the first person who create the knife, it's actually a little philosophy, but I have to tell you, the first person who create the knife, he had that mentality, he had that picture of the knife in their mind. If they told you that I'm going to create the knife, you had no idea what the knife is. You know what I'm saying? Because you never saw it. So if you tell the artificial intelligence, I'm going to create, I don't know, PH 493, something like that, they don't know what is it, but you know it because you want to create it and you have that creativity. And the second was in feeling. Artificial intelligence can define feelings, they can explain feelings, but they cannot understand it. They can feel it, but you can. I think these two are the exact things that everything. If there's a contest between people and the artificial intelligence, the AI cannot compete to you with these two things, creativity and feelings. Yeah, this is my point of view.
So when it comes to your project, you're doing a project which is related to medical field. So you're using AI in it. So what
Yes.
exactly the problems that you are solving in it?
Um, Actually, the purpose of medical actually is to let me say that in cancer, you usually work on three things: metastase, um, diagnosis, and detection. If I'm saying the right translation, because I usually talk in Persian and it's a little different. And it usually work on these three things, and we want to low the risk of low the risk of diagnosis of cancer to the patients. For example, what can you do for not getting the cancer? One of these is that. What can you do if you have cancer and you want to stop that? And the other thing is, what can you do I don't know if you are familiar with metastase. Metastase in cancer is if you cure your cancer, what can you do for not getting it again or in another part of your body? You know what I'm saying? For example, if you have tumor in one of your, for example, in your head, and if you cure that, that is a possible, that is a little possibility to get it in another place of your body. And what can we do for not getting it again? So we actually use the data sets of people's body on their questionnaire and their files that every patient have. And we come from, we get those columns out of that data sets that, for example, the first person have this tumor on that side of their breast. And after doing those kinds of things and having that medicine, they actually cure that. Then anything has happened to them. And we can use it as a rule, or we can use it as a sample of treatment for a patient. But there are some people who are in that position, but without different outcomes. So how can we solve this problem? How can we use it, in that process? We can consider the other features, for example, genetics, or the type of cancer that you have get, the stage of cancer that you have get, and something like that. That was difficult to explain it in another language, but actually I did my best. Yeah.
Can I say you're becoming a doctor, being a technologist?
Which one do I prefer?
You're getting working and doing research in
Yeah,
this particular
exactly.
field. You're understanding how actually things work in that particular uh, field or specialization in cancer.
Actually, I can be near of them and learn a lot of things from them, but I can never be a doctor because there are a lot of lessons, and there are a lot of experience that they have and I don't. Um, a lot of workshops, or most of them aren't even theories, and that's, I think, very difficult than I thought. But no, I don't think that I prefer to become a doctor. Actually, computer science works for me more than being a doctor or medical expert. Yeah.
Because in the beginning you said that you want to start a startup with like-minded people. So with this kind of an idea and the experience and the knowledge that you're gaining from this particular project and
Yes.
working in this project. So the information that you're gathering and the knowledge that you're getting and the things that you're understanding, in between the technology and medical field. So how this experience is going to be helpful for your PhD research or, in your PhD degree.
Oh, actually, I'm writing my thesis out of this project that I'm doing. I mean, my data set, my main data set, it's the exact data set that I'm doing. But the method is different. I mean, I'm more likely to use classification methods, but in my project, I use unsupervised learning and clustering methods. But my PhD, actually, I wanted to change my field of study from AI to bioinformatics, and I think I have to pass some more courses at the university that I'm going to study my PhD on, and most of them are related to medical courses. For getting your bioinformatics degree, you need to spend more time on medical courses. That's why. But I want to work on cancer because it's actually interesting for me. And every tumor is different from another one. The size is different, the type is different, and the place that the tumor is growing is different from any patient. And that's, I think, interesting, and I want to work on that. I think it's not that boring.
So the technology knowledge that you're getting from your education or the work experience that you're getting, so you want to use it in medical field and you want to work on cancer in future.
Yes, yes.
So if experts or the business leaders or companies or anybody who is watching this and listening to you from anywhere on this planet, what you want to say that to them, that you have this kind of an interest and you want to do this, and what you want to do, and how this the PhD degree or the thesis of yours is going to be helpful for humanity.
Yeah, first of all, if you are good, for all of the audience that are watching, if you are good, come to my company. I'm going to hire all of you. But out of the funny things, actually, I believe two things worse for working on. One of them is artificial intelligence, and the other is human body. And that's why I work something between these two. And I suggest to all of the people who have the same passion, go for it, and please don't give up. And I know it is so hard, but if you are really interested in, please pursue it.
And you're an artist also.
Yes, yes. Actually, I think I sent you some of my works. It's calligraphy, and it is a Persian. Actually, it is a Persian art, which is very old, and it has a great background in our history. If you actually search it, you can see it. My field of art is Nastaliq, which is a font. If you search it, you can see it. It is a Nastaliq, and the pen is different, the ink is different, and you have to work it without any stress, with silence, and you have to do it when you are so calm, without any nervousness. And yeah, I think that's great, and that's fabulous. And when I used to do it, but these days I'm so busy with my work, and I don't do it anymore. But I have some plan for continue it, because this is kind of my superpower between people who I'm familiar with and who I know in my family or my friends. They usually tell me to give them these calligraphy besides the gift, and it's pretty easy for me than buying them the gift. Yeah.
And when you're going to publish your books as an author?
Actually, I have two novels that I have wrote. But the first one is not that great for publish. Maybe I published for the teenager publishers. But the second one is strong, and I think it's actually a good thing for publishing. And it's about it's kind of dark. It's about a girl who is a killer, and you have to recognize what is come from, and why did she kill somebody. And I think for about 1 year I will publish my novel as soon as I finish it. I'm trying to finish it soon, but for all of people who knows how authors work, they usually work when they have that mood. Sometimes I have some ideas at the subway, and sometimes everything is ready for me, but I don't have anything to write. That's why I need some time for finish it. But as soon as I finish it, I will publish it, and I will actually make people be aware of at my LinkedIn page or my Instagram. Yeah.
So as a person, at last, one last question. So as a person who is into sports, as a person who is into technology, who is working on AI and understanding medical field and being
Yeah.
multi-talented and multi-skilled, what is your observation about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
Oh, that's exactly the part that you usually posted in Instagram. I know. Most of those times you don't talk on it. Okay, I think that's brilliant, because one of my interests are making a podcast, and I think that's great to find people who can inspire other people, especially teenagers or young people uh, who aren't have any clue how to do whatever they want. At the first, I thought maybe you interview most CS experts or something, but I saw at your website that you have interviewed and a photographer or some other people, and that was great. And I think you have a great future on this, and congratulations to you. And I believe you can do it even better. I'm going to introduce some people after this interview if you are interested in civil engineering or some kind of different uh, fields, and if you were interested in. But I think that's great. I think it's very talented, and go for it. Yeah.
So I personally did masters in software engineering, also bachelor's in computer science and engineering. Right
Yeah,
now I'm
I know.
working as a cloud DevOps engineer, AWS cloud DevOps engineer for a UK company remotely working from India. Apart from this, I'm a professional sportsman. I played professional cricket for a long time, represented top level cricket in my state. And that sportsman is making me do this global project today. So like how
Oh.
you are doing, a basketball player in you is making you do multiple tasks and making you wake up in every morning and go do it. Like you said, in the night, even if you decide to do that, that sportsman spirit will be there. So this kind of a background that I came from, and completely technology. I'm an engineer, and apart from that, I'm being a technologist. I just want to understand how technology business works around the world. That's why I'm
Mhm.
interviewing business leaders, CEOs, founders, CFOs, authors, psychologists, police officers. I'm going out of technology and trying to understand how different people in different parts of the world and for into different industries and coming from non-technical background, technical, like all kind of people. I'm trying to
Mhm.
understand and how they're solving problems. So how this experience, this collection of thoughts from different parts of the world, how this experience is going to be helpful for me in
Yeah,
future. How?
yeah. Actually, you know Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw you one day to interview him. You know, I saw the exact picture of you and him in a one interview meeting. So I think you will be a great YouTuber and podcaster, and I think that's great because you work on some serious stuff on careers, and these days people usually care about these things more than silly podcasts who are talking about, I don't know, what is your body count, what is your, I don't know, your background in relationships or something like that. But I think it's serious, and I think you have a great future. um, I don't know why, but I think you will be uh, working abroad in the US. I don't know why, but I can see you at the US. And I believe everywhere you are, you will be successful and you will have a great future. But you know, actually, at this time you are doing great, and I'm wishing for you for the future to be more successful. One day you will be interview Elon Musk, another day you will be interview, I don't know, Joe Rogan, or please Jordan Peterson. I love him. Please do it for him. And you know, yeah, I think that's great, and I think you found your way, your path, and that will be your future, and your future will be brighter uh, than my lights. Yeah, yeah, that's
Your words
that's
are
mine.
extremely valuable for me, and I'll remember your words, and I'm sure your whatever the words that you said will come true in few years, and I'm going to work in US in few months or few years,
Oh,
because
really? That's great.
my sponsor for this podcast is from US only.
Yes,
Yeah, so your words will reach, like, this is the last question that I want to,
of course.
I want you to say to the people, the top technology leaders will be, listening to you. So as an AI expert from Iran, from your country, so
Yeah.
observing things, how technology is building in your country. So what do you say these top technology leaders, if your words reaches to them? Do you want them to concentrate on security related things in technology, or do you have any particular thing, because they are the decision makers in
Hmm.
technology, who are making technology to be accessible to humanity? So what,
Yes.
those business leaders, what they have to think being in this world?
Actually, I know the kind of business leaders who are working on my country, as most of them are belong to the government, and I know their languages, and I'm planning to uh, work the way that they needed me. You know, my country needs doctors more than anything, and they need great doctors, and they don't actually care if engineers or technicians or some other jobs that are immigrants. You know, if you are aware of that or not, there are a lot of people who are immigrants from Iran to other countries. But as well as doctors are immigrants, they get concerned. So I'm going to work on these fields to these people who I want to make them need me. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, I think the best thing is idea, and I have a lot of them. Yeah, I'm
Definitely your
gonna.
words.
Yeah, thank you.
You are
Yeah.
saying something.
Oh, I said that I'm going to have a lot of ideas. Actually, I have a lot of ideas, but I'm not going to sell them cheap. I wanna work and I wanna get some outcomes. I want to uh, do whatever is great for my people and for my future. Both of them are important for me, not just my own life, because I believe in this world, everyone is thinking about their life and they don't actually care about other people. We need experts who are caring, and I want to do both. And I think governments don't care about people, so I'm going to make them care about people.
Do you
Yeah.
have a website or a blog where people or anybody can see the work that you're doing?
Actually, it's just my Instagram page. I don't usually give some advertising to other web pages or some like, because I told you I'm a little introvert, but if anyone is actually interested in my work, they can follow my Instagram page or my LinkedIn and such a thing. I don't have any website blogs or something like that. I just have my own accounts and that's all. Counts.
Can you spell your Instagram and LinkedIn for my podcast listeners?
Oh, my Instagram page is P_ALAEI. And I have a YouTube channel, but I only put 3 short videos on them, and but I'm going to start it as soon as I can. So every person are interested in me, they can subscribe me on my YouTube channel. Yeah.
So I'll put your all your links in the description of this video on YouTube, also on my website as well. People who visits my website can able to see your links and can able to see the work that you're doing. Also, I'll put your
Thank you.
Instagram and LinkedIn on the screen as well. People who finds our video anywhere in the internet can able to see the work that you're doing and can learn from you.
Thank
Maybe
you so much.
can collaborate with you in upcoming projects that you have plans for from anywhere in the
Of
world.
course. Of course. Why not?
So
Yeah.
thank you. Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Of course. That's why I'm interviewed too. Yeah. Of course. I hope you the best. I wish you the best, and I wish everyone who is watching this video. Oh, by the way, I'm married, and this is kind of difficult to do all of this work and sports, calligraphy, author, being a writer, and all of this while you are married. And that can be a good inspiration for married people, especially married women who are not that motivated. I think uh, that's all, and I believe I'm very hopeful for my future, and this channel that you are actually working on and creating some great content, and I congratulations to you. Yeah.
Definitely. Can I also put this video and audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yes, of course.
So I wish it reaches to more people and even one person, if that person gets inspired and changes their direction towards their development, listening to your personal experience that you have shared and the kind of uh,
Yes.
thinking process that you have and the way you are managing as a project manager, everything that you said, you will be the, change maker and I'll be the reason for that change.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be great.
Thank you again for your valuable time and for your valuable, information that you have shared.
You're welcome. Thank you for having this podcast, and that was great.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.